All right, hello and good morning. Let's take a look at the work for today. Don't forget to turn in your homework. I'll have what you need to turn in on Canvas, so make sure you look. Also, you have your test number 1 and test number 2. Do not miss them. If you don't want to take it, you don't have to take it if you already have a good grade. But if you're missing it, definitely take it because it looks better than a 0. All right, so make sure you do that. Sunday is the last day. This right here, 2x times that is 2x squared. 2x times that is a negative 14x. This times this is 4x, that's a plus, and this times this is a negative 28. And when you add all this up, you get 2x squared minus 10x, because you got to add these two up, and you got more negatives, and then minus 28, and you're done. That's the answer, and that's how you do FOIL. Let's take a look at fractions. Remember, fractions, you need the same denominator. Well, here, the denominators are the same. You have 5 pluses, and you have 7 minuses. That means you have 2 more minuses, and you can reduce this by 2. Divide by 2, and your answer is going to be negative 1/3. There it is right there. This one right here, here's how I would do it. Put a 1 underneath here. All right, find your least common denominator, which is 8. So you're going to multiply this one by 8. This one's already an 8, so you're going to get 40 over 8 minus 13 over 8. And when you do that, you have pluses, more pluses, and it looks like it's going to be, I'm going to say 27 over 8, and that's going to be a positive. Make sure you know that. This one right here, you're going to change it to improper fractions. 8 times 2 is 16, plus that, 16 and 7. How much is that? 23, so that's a negative 23 over 8. A positive times a negative is a negative. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3 over 2. Now, remember, you got to find your least common denominator. So you take the biggest one, which is 8, and then you ask yourself, does 2 go into 8? The answer is yes. So that's your least common denominator. So this one's already an 8, so leave it alone. This one you have to multiply by 4 to make that an 8. So you're going to get negative 23 over 8 minus 12 over 8. Now you have the same sign, so you're going to add that up and get negative 35 over 8, and you're done. And that's how you do it, and that's how I want you to do today's worksheet. Make sure you show some work. If I pick your sheet up and I don't see this kind of work that I had to do, then you're not doing your work the way you're supposed to do it. And I'm not going to be giving you credit. All right, so for each one of these, the answers are there, but I do want to see the work. Some of them are going to be easy, and then they get a little harder, and here they are right here. Let's turn our attention now to geometry. Okay, let's work these two. Don't forget, your tests are open. Test number 1 and number 2 are open. If you fail to take those, you will not get another try. This is like the 3rd try. Test number 3 is closed and will not be open again. Sorry if you missed it. But I made it very clear that I wasn't going to open number 3 again. All right, let's go up here. Put a dot right here. All right, actually, I want you to use special triangles. So this is a 45, 45. So that's 1, 1, 2, which is really the square root of 2, and that's the big one. So across from the 90 is going to go the square root of 2. And then these are the same. Okay, so whatever x is this side, even though we're not looking for it. So you're going to use proportions. So on this one right here, put your circles at the top. So put square root of 2 over 7 equals 1 over x. Cross multiply, you get x square root of 2 equals 7. And then you're going to divide by the square root of 2. Now, that's your answer, okay? So you can use your calculator to figure that out. So you take 7, divide it by 2, shift, square root, press equals, and I get 4.9. That is the answer. I don't know if they're going to ask you to rationalize the denominator, but the way you do it, and I tried to show you, is to write that twice. Square root of 2 over the square root of 2. So that gives you 7 square root of 2 over the square root of 4. But the square root of 4, 2 times 2 is 2. So it's going to be 7 square root of 2 over 2. And that should give you the same answer. Okay, watch. 2 shift square root times 7 equals divided by 2. Try that on your calculator, you get the same thing, 4.9. All right, let's move on. This one right here is trig. Put a dot right here. It's the same exact problem. So this one is going to be opposite, and this is hypotenuse, so that's going to be the sine. So it's the sine of 45 degrees is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So you're going to multiply by 7. Make sure you put the 7 in the front. So it's going to be 7 times the sine of 45. Let's see if we get the same answer, which was 4.9. So clear it out. Press 45, press sine, and then times 7, and you should get 4.9, and we do. Okay, so we worked it two ways. We worked it with special triangles and using trigonometry. All right, right now on your worksheet, I want you to try number 1, draw a diagram. All right, so for number 1, what you're going to do is her eyes are 5 feet above the ground. So here she is right there. There are the eyes. So you're going to draw a right triangle like this, okay? So it's from her eyes. But remember, you're going to have to add 5 feet to whatever you get for an answer because you're 5 feet off the ground. Her eyes are. So 400 feet from a building, so that's 400 right here. There's your building, okay? And the angle of elevation is 67 degrees. So this is an angle of elevation, so put 67 degrees right there. How tall is the building? Now, if you look at this, you're going to do opposite over adjacent. That's tangent, so that's going to be the tangent of 67 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. And then whatever you get here, you got to add 5, okay? So you're going to multiply, so it's going to be 400 times the tangent of 67 degrees plus whatever that height is, which is 5 feet. So let's work this out and see what we get. She had 947, so I'm going to press 67. I'm going to press tangent, and I want you to do it as well, times 400, press equals, and then plus 5. And you can see we get what she got, which is 947. And there it is right there. All right, make sure you add 5 if you're off the ground. Look at the next one. Try it. All right, this guy makes a ramp, and everybody likes a ramp because everybody likes the thrill of jumping here. And anyway, the hypotenuse is 2 feet, so put 2 feet. And a leg is 1 foot. So put one of these legs. That's your hypotenuse. These two are your legs. It says he wants to use a trigonomic ratio here. So let me think about this a second. Okay. And here, 1, 2, and the square root of 2. Let me take a look here. Okay, so this one right here basically is going to be the special triangle. 1, 2, and the square root of 3 is what that is. Okay, so what we're going to get is 1, 2, see 1, 2 is your hypotenuse, and the square root of 3 is this one. So that makes this a 30, 60, 90 triangle. All right, so that's a little evasive, but that's the way it is. So you can stand here and figure out this other side right here. Okay, so that would be, let me think here, opposite over hypotenuse, that would be the sine of 30, check. And then if you're standing here to get this side right here, it would be adjacent over hypotenuse, okay? So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and that's what she has, the cosine of 60 degrees. You might want to redo that one, but you got to realize that if one of them is 1 and the hypotenuse is 2, it's a special triangle. So it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. All right, let's look at this next one right here. It says round to the nearest tenth. Well, let's think about this. It says, assuming the paintball shoots straight, what should the aim be at the order, round to the nearest tenth? All right, I think we're looking for the angle of elevation here. So you're going to stand right here, and you're going to do opposite over adjacent. So that's going to be the tangent of angle X is equal to opposite over adjacent. Okay? And so when you do that, you want to circle the X and divide by the word tangent, but that becomes the arctangent. So let's see if this works. So take 28.2, divide it by 45.8, press equals, and then hit shift, and then press tangent. Make sure you hit the shift key. All right, I get 31.6, and that's what she got right here. Okay, put a star by that and rework it. Look at the next one. Try that one. The angle of elevation from a viewer to the top of the building is 50 degrees. All right, let's try that. Draw a right triangle. The angle of elevation is 50 degrees. Okay? If the viewer is 80 feet away and the viewer's eyes are 5.5 above, so the eyes are way up here. So you want to add 5.5 to whatever you get right here. This is similar to the one we did earlier, so make sure you add that. And they want to know the height of the building and round to 1/10 of a foot. 1/10 of a foot is one place in back of the decimal, so you're going to go 2 and then round up. So let's see if I have enough information here. 80 feet away, so you're going to put 80 right here, 80 feet away. So this is going to be opposite over adjacent, so that's going to be the tangent of 50 degrees is equal to opposite over adjacent. You're going to multiply, so you're going to get 80 times the tangent of 50 degrees, and then you got to add 5.5. Let's see if we get what she got. So you're going to do 50, press tangent, and then you're going to do times 80, press equals, and then plus 5.5 because she's up a little bit. And I get 100.8, and let's see what she got here. All right, so let's think about this a minute, and let's take a look at it because that's not what she got right here. So let's go back over it. All right, so the angle of elevation from the viewer to the top of the building is 50 degrees. So this is the person, the top of the building, the angle of elevation. If the viewer is 80 feet away and the viewer's eyes are 5.5, so she's 80 feet away, okay, and 5.5, what's the height of the building? So we're looking for the height of the building. So maybe I pressed the wrong key. So this is opposite over adjacent, which is tangent. So it's a tangent of 50 degrees, TOA, opposite over adjacent. The A is on the bottom, so you're going to get 80 times this. Let me just try it again and see what I get. So I get 50 and then tangent, okay, and then times 80, and then plus 5.5. I'm going to stay with my answer, and so let me try it again. 50 tangent times 80, press equals, and then plus 5.5. I'm going to stay with 100.8 on this one, okay? Maybe I copied the answer wrong, but it is 100.8. Let's go on. Side 2, try this one. All right, this one right here, you're standing right here. They have the diagram. We're looking for, let's see, this is opposite, this is adjacent, and this is hypotenuse. So we're looking for this one, x. So we want adjacent and hypotenuse. That's cosine, I believe. So put the cosine of 41 degrees is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, and then multiply by 30. Let's try that. That seems pretty straightforward. So you're going to press 41 and then cosine and then times 30, press equals, and I get 22.6, and she left it as 30 cosine of 41. So 22.6 is what I get, so I'm going to go with that one right there. All right, let's keep moving. This one right here, you have the diagram. Let's see what they want. It says determine and state to the nearest degree. The nearest degree is right here in front of the decimal. The angle of elevation. So you're looking for x. So stand here. It's going to be an inverse. Sine, cosine, tangent, but it's going to have a -1, okay, when you look for the angle. So this is opposite over a hypotenuse, that's sine. So it's going to be the sine of angle x is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. You can see how much trig is going to be on this test, so make sure you're up for it. Make sure you learn your trig this weekend. So you're going to divide by sine, so it's going to be the arc sine. So watch what I do. Clear your calculator. 4.5 divided by 11.75, press equals, and then hit shift, and then press sine. Make sure you hit shift. I get 22.5, and you're going to round it to 23 degrees. And that's what she has there. Let's take a look at another one. All trig here. It says, what is the distance in feet that the hamster must travel from point A to C? So you're looking for this. Okay, so you're going to do opposite over hypotenuse. So that's going to be the sine of 40 degrees is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Remember, this one's on the bottom, so you're going to switch these two. So the x is going to come up here, and it's going to be 15 divided by the sine of 40. Don't miss that one. Let's see what it is. So clear your calculator. 15 divided by 40. Press sine, and then make sure you press equals. I get 23 feet. Now you might say, well, which one is it? She did cosecant here, all right, and I didn't teach you cosecant, secant, or tangent. So what you need to do here is use your calculator. Let me see if we have cosecant. All right, I didn't teach you that. So put a question mark. I know this is the correct answer, all right, what I got, but there are inverse functions, and maybe I'll try to look those up over the weekend. All right, let's keep moving. If you want, look them up, what cosecant means and secant. Anyhow, what's the exact value of the tangent of A? Well, here's A, okay, and tangent is tangent, TOA. So tangent is opposite over adjacent. So if you're standing here, it's going to be this over the adjacent, which is that one. And that's what she has, okay? Let's keep moving. What's the sine of ratio P? Sine is SOH, opposite over hypotenuse. So stand at angle P. Opposite would be 15 in the hypotenuse. So it'd be 15 over 17. That's an easy one. All right, complete the table, the sine of A. So if you're standing at A, sine, SOH, TOA. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite is 9 over this. So it's going to be 9 divided by 3 square root of 13. This one, the cosine of A, is going to be adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's going to be 6 over 3 square root of 13. And then finally, tangent is opposite over adjacent. So that's going to be 9 over 6, it looks like. And then you got to reduce it by 3. So it's going to be 3 over 2 is the answer for that one. All right, try the next one. What's the perimeter? In order to do the perimeter, you got to find x and y. Okay, so and then you add up all of these. So to get x, you're going to do opposite over hypotenuse. So that's going to be the sine of, I guess that's 38 degrees, is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. That's one of them. This one is adjacent over hypotenuse, so I think that's cosine, in fact I know it is, of 38 is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And then when you get all of this, you got to add 18 to it, okay? So here you're going to multiply by 18 times the sine of 38 degrees, plus you're going to multiply by 18 times the cosine of 38 degrees, and then you're going to add 18. Do this right now, and you should get 43. Make sure you get that. All right, let's keep moving. All trigonometry. Make sure you know your trig going into this test if you want to get a 3.0 or better. It says, what is the cosine of z? Here's z. Cosine is SOH, TOA, so it's adjacent over hypotenuse. And here you have the adjacent, which is 12, but you need to first find the hypotenuse, okay? So to get the hypotenuse, you're going to do opposite over adjacent. So you're going to say the tangent of whatever this angle is. So let me think here. Well, it's just going to be opposite over adjacent. So put 16, we don't know the angle, so put 16 over 12 and then reduce it by 4. So when you reduce it by 4, you're going to get 4 over 3, which is what, well, is what she should have had. So let me take a look at it. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And we don't know that. Okay, so we can't use trig on it because we don't know the angle. But what we can do is Pythagorean's theorem. Okay, so you're going to do 16 squared plus 12 squared is equal to the hypotenuse squared. So x is going to be the square root of whatever that is. So let's just work it out. Let's stay with this problem here. So 16 squared is 256 plus 144, and then hit shift, square root. So we get 20 for this. Okay, now we can do it. You see, the cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's going to be 12 over 20, which reduces by 4. So that's going to be 3 over 5. Bam, that's what she's got. Okay, so that's a little twist. You had the first, I tried trig didn't work, and then I tried Pythagorean's theorem. Let's keep moving. This one right here, we're going to skip that one because we didn't teach that. Try the next one. It says the figure shows a right triangle of the listed values which are equal to the sine of B. All right, well, here's B right here. And sine is going to be the adjacent sine. Let's see. Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite would be here, and the hypotenuse is that. So that's B over A. Now, let's see what else she did. She said the cosine of C. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay, and then she also said this other one here, which I didn't teach you. Okay, so we're going to stay with this. And again, if you want to look up secant and cosecant and cotangent, you can look those up if you want. Okay, I didn't teach those. All right, that's pretty much it. You can see that this next series is heavy trigonometry. Good luck.